Imagine 8 countries battling for dominance, thousands of kilos dragged, pushed, and lifted, and only one team standing at the end. That's exactly what happened in Netflix's newest global competition, Physical Asia, a high-intensity showdown that's had fans glued to their screens for weeks. And today, we're breaking down the explosive finale that crowned the ultimate champions. But before we get into the final quest, let me ask you this. If you had to bet on pure grit over muscle, who'd you choose? Because this finale proves that strength alone doesn't win, strategy does. As 3 teams, Korea, Mongolia, and Japan, stepped into the arena, no one expected the twists that were about to unfold. So stick with me as we dive deep into the dramatic relay race, the brutal castle conquest, and the nerve-shredding final matches that determined which country walked away with 1 billion won and bragging rights across Asia. The finale kicked off with a 2-person manual treadmill relay, and right from the start, Korea came out swinging. They pushed harder, ran faster, and secured a critical early advantage by earning a map of the next quest area. But Japan and Mongolia weren't far behind. Fans were already predicting that Japan's technique or Mongolia's power might give Korea trouble later. And honestly, at this point, it still felt like anyone's game. But the real storm hit in Castle Conquest, the first elimination round. Picture this: 3 massive teams, 1 arena filled with obstacles, and 2.2 tons of weight to haul across sand. Korea and Mongolia blasted through the course like machines, but Japan struggled to break the castle gate and move their overloaded cart. As minutes ticked past, the tension was unreal, and by the time Japan crossed the 1-hour mark without finishing, their journey was over. Just like that, only 2 teams remained, Korea and Mongolia. Now this is where things get serious. With Japan gone, the pressure snapped into place. Korea had the confidence of a team that dominated earlier quests, and Mongolia had the momentum of a squad that refused to go down quietly. Their final showdown consisted of 3 matches, and the first was the wall-pushing match. Think reverse tug-of-war, with giant moving walls weighing up to 300 kilograms. Mongolia burst out with a clever strategy in the first round, catching Korea off guard and grabbing the lead. But Korea wasn't about to let that slide. Yoon Sung-bin, the Olympic gold medalist, and Kim Min-jae, the young serum champion, began coordinating perfectly, turning raw force into controlled power. They pushed back, literally, taking rounds 2 and 3, and securing the first victory of the final quest. The energy shifted instantly. Korea wasn't just strong, they were smart, synchronized, and terrifyingly efficient. Because Mongolia lost the first match, they got to choose the second, and they went with something brutal: the iron ball dragging match. Every competitor was strapped to massive iron balls, dragging them across the arena toward their team's flag. And here's where it gets interesting. The weight increased every round based on each team's total body weight. Korea had the heavier lineup at 537 kilos, compared to Mongolia's 518, meaning Korea had to deal with slightly heavier loads each round. But that didn't stop either team. One by one, they completed all 5 rounds in under 3 minutes, dead even by the final stretch. In fact, the last round ended in a tie. Exactly 35 seconds remained for both sides. The judges called for a sudden death tiebreaker. Both teams would drag the heaviest weight at the same time in a sprint to their flag. It was raw strength versus raw will. Picture this moment: 12 athletes, drenched in sweat, strapped to weights heavier than some small cars, digging their feet into the ground, while the entire arena holds its breath. The tiebreaker begins, and for a split second, Mongolia inches ahead, but Korea's formation tightens. Their steps lock in rhythm, and suddenly they surge forward as a single unstoppable unit. It's powerful, almost cinematic, and in that last explosive second, Korea grabs their flag first. With that, they clinch 2 out of the 3 matches, meaning they win the entire final quest without even needing the 3rd game, the infinite tail tag match. The arena erupts. Mongolia fought like absolute warriors, but Korea's combination of strength, teamwork, and strategy proved unbeatable. After weeks of punishing trials, Korea stands as the champions of physical Asia, taking home 1 billion won and the glory that comes with it. So who exactly are these 6 athletes who conquered the entire competition? 4 of them are familiar faces from Physical 100. Kim Dong-hyun, Amadi, Jang Eun-sil, and Yoon Sung-bin. Kim Dong-hyun, the team captain, is a former MMA fighter turned TV star who has faced some of the toughest competitors in Korea. Amadi, the CrossFit powerhouse, already knew what winning felt like after taking the Physical 100 Season 2 crown. Jang Eun-sil, who won hearts with her grit and leadership in Season 1, returns stronger than ever. And Yoon Sung-bin, Korea's iconic skeleton racer, brought unmatched athleticism and explosiveness. Completing the team were 2 newcomers, Choi Sing-yeon, Korea's top female CrossFit athlete, and Kim Min-jae, a rising star in Serum Wrestling. Each one brought something unique, and together they formed a team that simply refused to break. What makes Korea's victory so compelling is how each athlete played a different role in the team's chemistry. Kim Dong-hyun kept morale steady, always reading the room and predicting their opponent's tactics. Amadi and Choi Sing-yeon formed the endurance backbone, consistently performing in events that required repeated bursts of strength. Yoon Sung-bin took the lead in explosive tasks where timing and coordination mattered most, while Jang Eun-sil delivered clutch moments, especially in physically demanding situations where technique mattered as much as force. And then there was Kim Min-jae, only 23, but already a Serum champion, whose raw power became one of Korea's biggest weapons. This wasn't just a group of strong athletes. It was a perfectly balanced roster, where everyone carried exactly what the others needed. Even more fascinating is what these athletes represent now. Most of them have grown into influencers, entertainers, and TV personalities since their original Physical 100 appearances. Kim Dong-hyun and Amadi already command huge audiences online. Yoon Sung-bin has become a national sports icon. Jang Eun-sil is beloved for her fearless leadership and resilience. And now, with Physical Asia behind them, Choi Sung-yeon and Kim Min-jae are poised to follow the same path, already drawing fans who admire their discipline and athleticism. Korea's victory didn't just give them a trophy, it put each member in a powerful spotlight. And considering how popular survival-style competitions are becoming, we'll almost certainly see these athletes return in future shows, collaborations, and maybe even brand new global tournaments. Physical Asia wasn't simply a test of the body. It was a showcase of how far people will go when representing their country. Korea's win feels like a culmination of everything fans loved about Physical 100. But scaled up for a global stage. Mongolia and Japan brought incredible determination and showed that strength comes in many forms. But the final came down to tiny tactical decisions, timing a push, controlling breathing during a drag, adjusting footwork under pressure. Those moments are what separated victory from defeat, and that's what makes this finale so captivating. It wasn't rigged, predictable, or dominated by a single star. It was a battle of teams, real teams, where every individual mattered, every second counted, and every muscle was pushed to its limit. So as we wrap up, think back on everything we just witnessed in this competition. The grueling relays, the brutal castle conquest, the weight-dragging war, and the final sprint for the flag. Korea didn't just win. They proved why teamwork, strategy, and trust are more powerful than pure strength alone. And if this season is any sign of what's to come, Netflix might have just built the next global reality franchise. Let me know in the comments which team you rooted for, which quest was the most intense for you, and who you want to see return in a future season. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the physical Asia finale, make sure you like the video, subscribe for more breakdowns, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.